Hey, everybody. Due to unforeseen circumstances, I am sitting in a hotel room in Irvine, California, filming a podcast to replace the podcast that is supposed to be shown tonight. You'll see that next week. It's really good. This one, I think, is just as good, if not better. I hope you enjoy it. It's coming up right now. Hey, everybody. Some of the fastest growing businesses did not do it alone, they partnered. They collaborated. They doubled their reach, tripled their reach in record time. And today, I'm going to show you how collaboration can take your brand to heights you will never reach solo. Imagine doubling your audience without spending 1 cent on ads. That is the power of collaboration. And today on Straight Talk Commerce Podcast, we are going to break down how the very biggest names in business and in content creation are using collaboration to dominate their industries. In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
No hype, just the real deal. Wayne Altman's here, yeah, you know the drill. Talking business, talking shop, making moves non-stop. From e-com to hustle, straight talk, no props. Straight talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Here to break it down with the sharpest minds. Money, moves, mindset, grind. If you're ready to win, then tune in live. Big names, big games, all the lessons they bring. From Jelly Belly to AA Kings. From the startup grind to the top tier pros. We crack the code, now here we go. Straight talk, commerce, getting to know. We're Wayne Altman. Let's start the show.
All right, everybody. Look, everyone in this space is trying to grow faster. They're pumping money into ads. They're hustling for content. They're chasing the algorithm. Everybody knows this. But the truth is, the biggest shortcut to growth is sitting right in front of your face. It is screaming at you, and it is called collaboration. The right collaboration can double, triple, blow you up overnight. It'll triple your credibility. It will make your audience root for you 10 times harder if you just collaborate. Now, I want you to think about this. When Mr. Beast teamed up with Mark Rober, he's a NASA engineer, Mark Rober, for Team Trees, they didn't grow individually. They didn't just grow individually. They raised over $20 million for the environment and the projects they were working on together. They reached hundreds of millions of people more than they would have if they'd have done it alone. Collaboration transforms not just you and your brand, but it transforms the entire industry or the niche that you're in. And today I am going to show you how to make that happen. I'm going to give you some case studies. We're going to work on some strategies to get people to want to collaborate with you, and even some mistakes. I want to show you some mistakes that you're going to want to avoid. Now, why does this matter? Because trust transfers. When a respected brand vouches for you, your credibility skyrockets. And the cross-pollination of audiences, you get exposure to a group of people that would never even know you. They'd never have any exposure to you, and you would never reach them on your own. It's a win-win. And the impact is massive. Collaboration works when both sides gain. So, smaller channels, sure, reach out to channels that are have a much bigger audience than you. But I would tell the larger channels that may be listening to this, the benefit to you to reach down and to help up those smaller channels is exponential as well. And I'm going to prove that to you in this. Team Tree's campaign was more than just a charity drive. It was a masterclass by Mr. Beast, by the way, in collaboration and strategy. Both creators shared audiences. and it amplified one another. It gave Mr. Beast a lot of credibility. It gave Mark Rober a huge, massive audience that he was never going to sniff without Mr. Beast's help. It cemented themselves not just as leaders, but both of them as entertainers and thought leaders. The lesson here I want you to take away from is collaboration scales your influence every bit as much as it scales your audience. Give you another example of this. Jim Shark. Jim Shark could have burned millions of dollars on advertising. They could have done that. Instead, they were smart. They gave smaller creators product to test, to wear, to promote, and those individual smaller micro communities, that strategy took them from garage startup to billion-dollar brand. And there's a lesson here that you should be getting. Collaboration doesn't always mean mega partners. It doesn't have to be Mark Rober with 60 million followers and Mr. Beast with 600 million followers. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be two groups of people that are similar in size, or it can be one that's much larger, or it can be two audiences that are quite small in the 40, 50,000 subscriber range. It doesn't always mean mega partners. Sometimes the right collaborations are small and scalable, meaning you will grow with your collaborators. So, if the collaboration is the rocket fuel, how do you find the right launch partner? It's a very good question. I'm glad that I asked that. The core points here are shared mission. That matters more than whose follower count is big and whose is small or anything about follower count at all. Complementary strengths create exponential growth in this case. And credibility before you commit. In other words, you want to vet your collaboration partners prior to you committing to doing these collaborations. Now, look, if you are a smaller channel, if you're the smaller one, then this becomes less important than if you are massive. The massive channels, you're going to want to vet who you collaborate with pretty well. A bad partner can drag you down, but generally speaking, it's not going to happen nearly as much. It's not something for you to be afraid of. I searched long and hard for case studies where this was an issue, and I had a very hard time coming up with them. But Red Bull and GoPro. Red Bull, Red Bull had the athletics, the athletes, and the events. GoPro had the camera technology. Alone, they were very strong and billion-dollar companies. But together, they created cultural moments like the Felix Baumgartner jumping from the edge of space back onto the planet. That was one of the most watched videos in history, and the live was massive. Neither of those two realized how big that was going to be. That's an example of doing it right. The lesson in that is pick your partners who are going to fill in your gaps and let you both shine. Case study number two, Shopify and TikTok. This is fascinating, you guys, by the way. Shopify saw that its merchants needed Gen Z customers. They needed those younger customers. TikTok wanted to prove that it could actually drive sales, not just silly dances. Their partnership together created native shopping tools that are not only being used today, but they are the textbook on how to do e-commerce online right now. And the lesson here is collaborating with a platform can sometimes be more powerful than collaborating with a person or a brand specific. Once you find the right partner, it's not enough to shake hands. You've got to build something together that actually will make some noise. Now, how do you do that? The collaboration in content. And this is what really drives this whole engine. Guest swaps, podcast interviews, YouTube cameos, Instagram live collaborations. The ideas here are endless and limitless. You can collaborate with someone else to reach their audience in many, many, many different ways. And you should try multiple ways if you're going to go to the trouble of collaborating. And by the way, you should be going to the trouble of collaborating. Co brand, co-branded campaigns, shared merchandise, joint webinars, challenges. These things are very ripe for collaboration. So here's some more ideas on things that you should be, mulling over and trying to partner with people about. And then shared storytelling. Each side brings a chapter to the same story. And let me give you a case study on this. Logan Paul and KSI, they did Prime Energy Drink. That was a collaboration between the two. And it was kind of funny because that was a collaboration that people did not see coming. Two YouTubers went from absolutely bitter rivalry to business partners, and it seemed like it took place overnight. And instead of splitting their audience, they merged those audiences together, and it created in 2 years $1 billion brand. 2 years to $1 billion. I'm telling everybody that's listening to this or watching this, imagine going from a standing start to nothing, be nothing there, to $2 billion collaboration in only 24 months. Show of hands of anybody that wouldn't be willing to do that. If you put your hand up, don't ever watch me again. Okay? Because that's absolutely ludicrous. Even the lesson here is even competition can turn into collaboration if there is a shared upside. And in this case, $1 billion company definitely shared upside. I'll give you another example of this. Spotify and Starbucks. This one gets me. I love this. Customers could stream Starbucks playlists from home at home, tying Spotify's app to Starbucks lifestyle experience. The lesson, not all collabs are obvious. You got to put your thinking cap on, you guys. You have to think about this. How is this going to, who can benefit, and how are you going to make it benefit? Okay. Sometimes the magic happens where you least expect it. And that's really, that goes for life. You know, uh, opposites attract, but sometimes that has a tendency to work. Um, so you really should be looking in the less obvious places as well. And by the way, I would say to you, if someone comes to you with a collaboration idea, do your very best to see their vision. Do your very best to see how this would benefit both of you. And sometimes that benefit is not going to be completely equal, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Give you a case study about this. Apple and Nike. They're the Apple's early fitness tracking, that collaboration that they did with Nike, it stumbled with syncing issues. But instead of quitting, they fixed the bugs and they iterated until it became a staple in their product line. Both of them. And the lesson there, I would say, is do not ditch a partnership at the first sign of trouble. Evolve the partnership, make it work, make interweave this to be a true collaboration. You cannot be ready to pull the plug the minute that there's a slightest bit of friction. That cannot be the case. So careful on who you partner with, but once you've pulled the trigger, once you've made that partnership a thing, massage it, shine it up, make it work for both parties. And let me give you another case study on this. Fashion Nova and their smaller influencers. Fashion Nova, picked up on the idea that, "Hey, look, if we're going to go after these massive influencers, that's going to be a very costly endeavor for us. And if it doesn't work, it will be catastrophic to my business. However, if I collaborate with smaller influencers who can benefit from being a partner of mine, all the better." That's when I am actually going to move the earth, is when I'm helping these smaller channels and smaller collaborators, and they're going to put their heart and soul into elevating my brand. Some collabs blew up in their face when influencers did not quite align with their image, and it created a tiny bit of backlash. However, overall, it blew Fashion Nova to the stratosphere because those collaborations that did work worked incredibly well. You want to vet your audience, not just in size, but in brand fit and authenticity. I worked for a company that teeth whitening, and the idea was they were going to collaborate with vape uh, people that were doing vapes. It was a very good idea, except nobody anticipated that there would be such a backlash and such a problem medically with vaping. So you're almost the teeth whitening company almost was encouraging people in some way to vape, and it just that did not work out. It was not well thought of or thought about, and sometimes that happens. How do you make sure that your first collaboration actually works? And the answer is start small and be very intentional. Planning is really what's going to win the day here. Not going out willy nilly and in one weekend come up with a collaboration. No, this takes planning. This takes actual thought and a process. We're going to do that. I'm going to show you how to start this process and get it in and get involved with it today. Okay. So how to start collaborating today. Step one is make a hit list of 10 to 15 potential collaborators. Do not think too big. Start with peers, people that are actually at the same place you are, or slightly bigger creators. And I would also add, don't don't neglect people that are smaller than you. Step two, pitch. Pitch value first. Instead of asking, "Can you promote me?" That's a very selfish way of going about this. Say to them, here's how we can create value for your audience. I'm doing this for you, not for me. Oh my gosh, no, I would never do something for me. I want to do this for your audience. And here's where I can bring value to you. Step three, start small. A joint Instagram live, a shared blog post, a podcast guest, have them on a podcast, uh, or swap, agree to swap with them. You see that on this channel a lot. You want to test the waters before you dive in headfirst. Step four, you want to document expectations. You want to figure out prior to what you both expect from getting from this collaboration, and be conservative. You've got to realize that this partnership is going to take time, and it's going to take some effort for people to understand what you're trying to do. Who promotes what? Who owns the content at the end of the day? Avoid any awkwardness later. And the only way that you can do that is by very carefully setting out expectations. Very rarely do you have a problem except that you never spoke about what would happen, who owns what if something blows up. Let me give you an example of this. A small fitness YouTuber with about 5,000 subs collaborated with a nutritionist podcast who had 10,000 subs. Together, they did a 30-minute live question and answer about diet and exercise. Both of them gained exposure to a slightly different audience, and both are currently growing by about 30% per month. Let me tell you that again. They are growing by about 30% per month because of, and both of them are growing by that number, by the way, because they collaborate. The truth is, collaboration is not about luck or waiting for the right person to find you. If you are not looking, no one's out there looking for you. It's about being intentional, strategic, and leading with value for the collaborator of your choosing. The moment that you start doing that, the opportunities will pop up everywhere. Okay, everybody. Look, if today's episode gave you an idea for a collaboration, great. Put that in the comments section down below. I want to hear about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with a friend, a family member that is in business and is trying to grow. And do not forget to subscribe yourself and to hit the notification for when these podcasts come out. Today was all about collaboration. Next week, I want to talk to you about the psychology of purchasing things online. We're going to help you make your customers purchase more from you. And you do not want to miss next week's podcast. I am going to go hit the pool. I will see you next week. I definitely enjoy our time together. So thank you guys very much and see you next week.
No fluff, no hype, just the real deal. Wayne Altman's here, yeah, you know the drill. Talking business, talking shop, making moves non-stop. From e-com to hustle, straight talk, no props. Straight talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Hey, I break it down with the sharpest minds. Money moves, mindset, grind. If you're ready to win, then tune in live. Big names, big games, all the lessons they bring. From Jelly Belly to AA Kings. From the startup grind to the top tier pros, we crack the code. Now